It's another day. Spent a lovely morning this morning talking to, or talking with, a group of people about enlightened times and enlightenment, and some of the things that we're going through at the moment. And it was really nice. And I did it in the craft room. This is my wife's craft room. Um, but because of the times that we're in, it's also become the home office for my daughter who's working from home. It's become the room for Zoom meetings, and it is in effect an office now. So it's not a craft room at all. My wife rarely gets in to do any crafting now. There's always somebody in having some sort of meeting. But a few things that came out of the meeting this morning, and one of them, which was a recurring theme, is the fact that everybody's at a different level of understanding, and that's with everything, every subject. We're all at different levels of understanding, and sometimes we've just got to be kind with the people that we feel are not understanding the way that we think they should be understood. So rather than shoot them down, it might just be that they've not reached the level of understanding that maybe they will do in the future. And it also may be that our level of understanding isn't quite developed. So when we're talking to people and listening to people, we're listening to them, and our level is perhaps not quite at the level of theirs where we can accept what they're saying. We're not ready to receive that yet. And that's nobody's fault. That's just a natural process. That's life. So we all develop at different rates, and we all develop in different aspects of our lives. So, for instance, I am a professional driving instructor and have been for 17 years. So you would expect me to have a really good understanding of driving and teaching to drive and that kind of thing. But if you put me in a different environment, so if you make me a farmer, I'm probably going to have quite a low understanding of that. And I might understand some of the issues around it and some of the needs, but I'm certainly not going to be anywhere near the level of expertise as somebody who's been doing it all their life. That's life. It's where we are, and it's the same with anything. But one other aspect that came out today was the idea that because we're in the situation that we're in, so we're in coronavirus, COVID, lockdown, whatever name you want to give it. One of the things that is allowing us to do, and the longer this goes on, the more it's allowing us to do, is to actually take a step back from what we were doing in the past, which was a very ego-driven, head-centered environment. So our decisions will be made by the brain, the ego, the conscious mind, because that's how we survive. It's a survival mechanism. And what we're now starting to do is we're starting to step back more into our heart space. So more into that space that's occupied by the soul. And we're now starting to see life as a different animal. Perhaps we don't need to be rushing around and doing all the nonsensical things we were doing before. Perhaps now we can think more clearly about what's a priority in our life, and about what we're supposed to be doing. So are we supposed to be running around at the whim of a boss who's not very understanding, and or are we supposed to be looking at our own selves and making ourselves more productive in our own achievement in our own lives, and it giving us a clearer vision of what we can do in the future to shape that. And if we shape our lives individually, then we can have an effect on the lives of people around us. And if we have that similar effect on people around us, they can shape their lives. And as the ripple goes around and the great awakening makes progress, who knows? In many years to come, we might have a complete society who thinks from the heart and not from the head. And that's what we'd love to think is going to be the major bonus out of what we're going through at the moment. Not saying that there aren't dark times to go through, and that this is an ideal situation, But if we come out of it having thought about it the right way, then we can work forwards and develop the society that we wanted in the first place, not go back to the society that was clearly not fit for purpose.